So you finished the first season of Spider-Noir and were so caught up in the moment that you came to us for a breakdown of everything that happened? Brilliant idea. Now, obviously after watching it in black and white and true hue, I assume you watched it both ways, right? You thought you'd come to our little shindig and discuss all the hops about everything that happened in that final episode. Now, before we get too into it, we wanted to let you know that we'll be spoiling the end for you here, so don't go crying if we spoil something you haven't seen yet. Now, settle in as we break down the season finale for... We pick up with our one and only Spider, Ben Reilly, who is the final remains of Dr. Faber's super antidote. We see that Ben clearly wants out of the responsibility that the spider powers give him. Still, his better nature forces him to use the limited supply to not only cure Tombstone, but, with proper rationing, also cure Sandman and himself all in one fell swing. But saving Tombstone comes with one dangerous complication. Both the mayor and Silvermane now know it exists, and they each want Ben to get in touch with the spider to help their own side. With that, Megawatt and Sandman are sent to retrieve Ben, who has been struggling to get his powers back after escaping Dr. Faber's laboratory. At the same time, we see a, can you call it a touching moment? Between Silvermane and Cat, as Silvermane explains his backstory of coming from nothing and how he always fights to not only stay alive, but to keep everything he's worked so hard for. Cat just can't seem to escape this guy's grasp, no matter where she tries to run. With some free time while Silvermane waits for Ben to arrive, Cat makes a call to Janet to try and enact her secret plan. Janet, being the #1 wingwoman in the world, properly slaps the crap out of Cat for betraying Ben's trust for her own gain. You go, girl. But Cat explains that she did it all to save Flint and can eventually make it up to Ben with her newest idea. By using the antidote to save her love interest and take the powers from both Sandman and Silvermane, she can do it all in one go. Although, it seems that everyone with power, in more ways than one, is currently after Ben. Back at Robbie's apartment, Janet reveals Cat's plan, but they are interrupted by Silvermane's powerful goons. Goons. And the plan to get the antidote into the alcove will have to be done another way. But that's a later problem, and one Ben doesn't quite have the resources to solve, as he's hauled off to the alcove bar. Once at the bar, Ben and Silvermane strike a deal for Ben to get in touch with the spider and convince him not to get involved in the crime boss's business. With a proper deal in place, Ben makes a call to the Spider, who is actually his friend Robbie helping play the part. This might just be a way to get the antidote to the bar. Unfortunately, during these negotiations, Megawatt recognizes Ben from their time in the war, when he saved the superpowered humans from the POW camp. With this, the whole negotiation begins to unravel, since now everyone is pretty sure Ben is the spider. Hinging on Ben's love for Cat, Silvermane pulls a gun to her head, forcing both Flint and Ben into a tricky situation. In a desperate last measure, Cat admits her love for Flint and fully confesses to hiring Addison to assassinate Silvermane at the beginning of the season. Do you remember when that happened? Right before Silvermane can pull the trigger, who should show up but the spider himself, aka Robbie in a suit. Although, this plan is also not airtight, as Janet is also hauled in and captured by the other goons. This standoff just got a lot more people and a lot more stakes. Unfortunately, Janet had the antidote on her, and as it's about to be handed to Silvermane, Megawatt takes this whole ordeal into his own hands by jabbing Robbie with the antidote. Now, only 2 antidote syringes remain, and Megawatt electrocutes Robbie right then and there to test the antidote's powers. While this is unfortunate for Robbie, sorry buddy, this is a somewhat lucky break, because Ben can keep his powers and his secret identity for the time being. With Megawatt now in charge of the situation, he tries to rope in Flint to join his side and take Silvermane out once and for all so they can truly run the town. And it seems like he might just be winning Flint over, especially after seeing his boss almost gun down his love interest. With that, Megawatt unmasks Robbie, and at the realization that he's just the reporter, Ben's powers suddenly kick back in, bringing a whole new level of chaos to an already tense situation. A shootout commences, as Janet and Robbie duck for cover. Silvermane runs for an exit, followed by Cat, and Ben battles Megawatt and the Sandman, properly destroying every table and surface in the building. While Cat follows Silvermane, Flint, Megawatt, and the Spider take the battle to the streets. During their fight, one of the 2 last syringes breaks, raising the stakes for whether or not Ben will have to kill both of these men and save himself, or follow through on his promise to Cat and save Flint. Meanwhile, below the bar, we get a bit more clever mirror play that's been a staple in this series so far. Silvermane and Cat play something of a cat and mouse game through a room full of mirrors, because, that's obviously what you have at the bottom of your bar in the 1930s, I guess. With multiple verbal jabs from Silvermane, Cat fires bullets from her gun, reducing the number of mirrors and the distance between these two. With 2 bullets left in the chamber and all the mirrors gone, these 2 immovable objects finally stand face to face. With her final bullet, Cat puts Silvermane into the ground, ending the mob boss, but not the war. Meanwhile, back up above, the Spider is absolutely getting his ass beat as Megawatt builds to full power and Flint fully forms into a guy made of moon sand, kinetic sand. Looks kind of squishy, actually. But with all the punching and electricity going on, the Spider looks more and more tattered. Of course, right before the Spider is absolutely burned to a crisp, Cat comes to the rescue, but again, not before being shocked herself by a Megawatt too drunk on power. Flint is absolutely furious and attacks Megawatt himself, but after being introduced to what we'd assume is a city's worth of electricity, Flint begins to see a bit clearer as he slowly turns to glass. But right before total meltdown, Ben webs Megawatt and flings him in front of a train. Wait, what is this, an isekai? Thanks for the assist, Train-kun. He's gotta be dead, right? With the 2 big bads officially gone, Ben is left with a final, crucial choice. He has 1 antidote left, a dying Flint in front of him, and the chance to leave this world of powers forever. Ultimately, Ben hands it over to Cat to save Flint's life, at the cost of having to keep his powers and the responsibilities that come with them. With that, Ben saunters out into the night, looking quite worse for wear, we might add. We pick up later at Silvermane's funeral, where no one but Flint and Cat have shown up. Oh, that's actually kind of sad. Cat and Ben share a moment where Cat says she truly loves Flint, but that if they had been in a different world, she would have been with Ben. With that, Ben walks off with the same powers, as the same man, but hopefully with a new lease on life, or potentially in search of a really good hot dog. We end with several main points. Ben seems more willing to accept the power he's been forced to live with. He and Janet now co-own the detective agency, and Robbie has left the Daily Bugle to start his own paper. As the season comes to a close, we hope that our heroes will go on to not only continue to improve themselves, but also the city they love so much. So, with that all said and done, what'd you think of the season? Did you watch it in true hue or black and white? And if so, will you go back and watch the other? It really feels like Nicolas Cage was truly made for this role.
Did you see that? They kicked him in the kingdom.
From the mannerisms and stylistic choices to just the overall vibe of a noir-style Spider-Man. It truly felt like a series that not only was absolutely stunning to watch, but was enjoyable to really get a deeper insight into these characters. We know we thoroughly enjoyed it, but let us know. Is there anything about this show you really liked? In the meantime, we'll swing along and see you on the next one. And for all things fan focused, keep it locked right here on our YouTube, and we'll see you next time.